Hey guys, it's me KSMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Lev Haiba ex-listener. This one is titled Uniform Altercations, and I literally haven't posted a Lev video in like 3 months, aka when I started posting for real on the channel. So here's the second Lev video ever. I'm sorry for, not posting any. It's low-key hard to find Lev videos, so sorry. Anyways, now without further ado, let's get right on into the video. You were finishing the sewing project that you were working on when you had heard a knock at the door of the sewing club that you ran. No one really worked there in the morning except for you, so you were all alone. "Come in," you yelled, the last stitch finally finishing up the altercation for a custom uniform for yourself. You saw a volleyball player, Haikyuu, sticking his head inside the door. "Hey, have you had time to fix one of our uniforms? One of our new players ripped their jersey while trying to put it on because he couldn't figure it out. He's kind of insufferable." He rubbed his neck nervously, opening the door, revealing a familiar, tall, gray-haired boy from your class. Lev Haiba, standing there, awkwardly, a ripped jersey in his hands. Your eyes softened at the boy. You knew he was trying his hardest at everything, so you didn't mind at all. You sauntered over to the pair of the volleyball players, pulling in Lev by his hand, stealing the uniform that he had in his hand, examining the tear by the seams. It wouldn't be too hard to fix. It just needed some more fabric, which you had, and it would be a piece of cake. He's not insufferable, Haikyuu-senpai. He's so cool. I don't know what you're talking about, you told Haikyuu, still holding Lev's hand. The tall, gray-haired boy blushed at your compliment, eyes darting around the room, not knowing what to look at. "Can you fix it?" Lev asked nervously, eyes gazing at your fingers intertwined with his own. You nodded, letting go of the boy's hand and getting the tape measure and some spare jersey fabric. "Yeah, I just need to go grab a few things, and I also need to borrow you for a while. I hope you don't mind." You grabbed the tape measure and the fabric, setting the fabric down on the table next to you and Lev. "That's fine, enjoy the dingus," Haikyuu yelled, walking away from the sewing room with happiness, like he was ready and happy to get Lev away from him for a while. You watched him walk away. As soon as he was out of sight, you shut the door, letting out a sigh of distress. "I'm sorry, I don't want to waste your time," Lev apologized, head facing the ground, not wanting to look at you in fear that you might be mad at him. You were quiet, not responding to the boy, which made him nervously glance up at you quickly, and you were examining the uniform again, changing between looking at the fabric and the big shelf of thread. He fully lifted his head up when you grabbed a thread that matched the fabric. "It's not a waste of time if I'm willing to do it. I don't mind. You try your best at volleyball in school, I can tell." You casually grabbed the tape measure and moved his arms up, lifting his shirt to put the tape measure around his waist. He looked down at your hands moving. Lev blushed. His heart was beating faster than it ever had before. There was a soft smile on your face while you took his measurements, which made him dazzled by your lips and your soft expression. Lev let you manipulate his body to your will, getting all the measurements that you needed. He couldn't control the blush that settled itself onto his face, watching the face that you made when you were focusing. He found it adorable the way you made sure all the markings stayed in your mind by repeating them under your breath. "You know, Haiba-kun, you're pretty handsome," he told him, finishing measuring him and starting off the jersey. You set up the sewing table or the sewing machine and grabbed the matching colored bobbin, putting it inside the machine. Lev awkwardly stood there, redder than the uniform that he had ripped. He was twiddling with his fingers, not knowing what to say. He gazed at you as you were working at sewing his uniform back, adding the extra fabric to make it just big enough for the boy. You put in the last stitch of the uniform and turned off the machine, putting it back to the way it was before. It looked completely normal and fine now, so you grabbed Lev by the hand, pulling him down to sit next to you. What are you doing?" he questioned, until you started taking off his blazer and unbuttoning his dress shirt. He jumped back in surprise, a red blush deepening on his face. "Hey, I can do it myself. Sorry, I was just too focused and nervous to ask you." You apologized, handing him his blazer back and glancing at the ground in embarrassment. Too nervous to ask? Why would you be nervous? He inquired, cocking his head at you, finishing unbuttoning his shirt. You didn't move your eyes away from the ground, opting to stay quiet, not wanting to feel the embarrassment of his question. No particular reason, it's just kind of nerve-wracking, you quietly told him, turning your back to the sewing machine to undo all the thread and put the bobbin away. Lev gave you a worried glance before putting on his jersey. It fit really well with his proportions. A blush made its way onto your face, now the both of you were looking like cherries. I'm nervous too, but does it look good? He asked you, standing up and doing a small twirl. You nodded, turning back to the shelf of thread. Lev put his uniform on, leaving his volleyball jersey on the table. You grabbed it and put it in a bag for him to take to practice after school. You handed him the bag as you finished fixing up his tie. I hope I didn't cut into your practice time too much, you apologized. The boy grabbed the bag and shook his head, a grin covering his features. I enjoyed my time, don't worry. I'm alright. I'll just practice a little more after school. He shrugged off your apology, walking to the door. He turned back to look at you before leaving. Thank you, I'll see you in class, last name. He waved at the boy, who had just left the room. You let out a sigh of relief, pulling at your phone to check the time. You still had quite a bit of time before class started, so you decided to write down Lev's measurements for future use. You opened the notebook of measurements that you kept, a small smile on your face as you started adding the information to the page. Time skip, or scenario change. At this point in the year, you had almost all your classmates' measurements, making things for each of them. You didn't have much else to do, so why not? You got paid for it, and you had fun, so it was a pretty good hobby to have. You had just finished making a custom school sweater for one of the girls in your class, putting it in a little gift bag when you had seen the door to the sewing room open, revealing Lev. Deja vu flew over your body as you watched him walk in, a small box in his hands. Hey Lev, do you need anything? You asked your friend, adding a few cute hair accessories to the bag as a thank you gift. He stood by you, shuffling his feet nervously. You sealed the bag, putting a little tag on it. The boy tapped your shoulders nervously, showing you the box of chocolates in his hands. You glanced down at it, an expression of hurt flashing over your face, getting the wrong idea from what he was showing you. Oh, it's Valentine's Day, isn't it? Well, I hope the girl you confessed to accepts you. Lev's face fell, seeing the way the confession flew right over your head. He nodded, the feeling of being rejected washing over him. He sat down next to you and looked at the writing inside of it. You were too focused on digging through your school project bin, finding your next project. Lev slid the chocolates over to you, intentionally hiding it so you'd find out later with a note inside. He flipped open the notepad, flipping through the first few pages, eyes landing on a section that read Lev Haiba. Lev read through the section that you had gathered, or the section as you gathered materials for your next project, being too focused on the project to notice the boy going through your sewing/classmates' profiles. His eyes widened when he saw the description for himself. 2 hearts, Lev Haiba, 2 hearts. Class 1-3, height 178 centimeters. That's not right, he's taller than that, but Measurements, whatever his measurements are, they don't say it here. Lev Haiba is on the Nekama volleyball team, and is the most attractive person in my class. He once asked to get his uniform fixed, and I think I almost died. He was way too cute, and I can't help but have a little bit of a crush on him. He tries his best in everything he does. Glad that I'm friends with him. I hope he feels the same way. Lev's face looked like a tomato as he read the description, the little hearts around his name making his heart beat faster. He took the pencil attached to the notebook, writing down on the next page, writing down a note next to the paragraph about him. So you felt the same way about me, huh? That's so awesome. I can't wait to ask you out. Lev, what are you doing? He frantically questioned, seeing him looking inside of your notepad that you had written all of your thoughts down into. Lev tore his attention away from the notepad and closed it, setting it down. I'm sorry, I was just curious as to what was in there, he sheepishly replied, rubbing the back of his neck. You picked it up, sliding it into your skirt pocket, anxiety coursing throughout your body. Lev didn't make eye contact with you throughout the rest of the day, or throughout the rest of the time that you were with him. He eventually bid a goodbye to you after he left. He left. You put your project down, the anxiety eating away at your mind, but the bell interrupted your thoughts. You grabbed your bag, going to your classroom, to feel tortured by the rest of the class. The bell rang, signaling that break was over, or that break was starting. There were girls running around, giving gifts to each other, and boys receiving confessions. It was a typical thing for that day. You left the classroom, finding a scheduled or secluded area to sit down and eat lunch, away from all the confessions that you'd never be able to do. The sewing room was empty, so you decided to sit there for lunch, not really wanting to deal with all the crush culture around you. You took your bag out and opened it, getting one of the two bentos that you had made for that day, one for the person you loved, but that all went down the drain when you saw him with those chocolates, probably from or for someone prettier than you. You felt tears welling up in your eyes. Days like this always made you upset. Why didn't you have the courage to do something about your feelings like everyone else did? It was so frustrating. So much that you pushed aside your bento and buried your head into the table full of all the sewing items that you had. The tears finally spilled out of your eyes, confirming that you were indeed very frustrated. Before you could start letting out noises from your crying, you smelt the sweet chocolatey scent coming from you. You lifted your head to try to find the source of it, spotting a familiar box underneath the piece of fabric. It was the box that Lev was holding, but was it actually for you? You grabbed your notepad out and flipping to his page, trying to confirm that he might actually like you. The surprise filled your eyes and made them widen, which was a note that resided next to the paragraph. So you felt the same way about me as I do about you, huh? That's so awesome. I can't wait to ask you out. Your heart beat hard in your chest and your face felt hot. You set down the notebook, gently picking up the box of chocolates, lifting the lid off of it. It revealed your favorite flavor of homemade chocolates and a small love letter on the top. I need to find him, you muttered, picking up everything quickly and putting it into your bag. You ran out of the door, maneuvering your way through the students, trying to find where the gray-haired boy was. You finally spotted the boy, sitting down by a wall, eating with the other volleyball players. Lev stared at you in surprise as you were holding the chocolates in one of your hands and the note in the other. First name? He rhetorically questioned, making you walk up and sit in front of him, legs crossed together. Lev looked confused until you opened the note, showing it to the group of boys. Wait, Lev likes last name? No way, that's insane, one of the boys commented, reading that it was from Lev himself. You nodded, setting down the chocolates and using one hand to open it, revealing the homemade chocolates. He made these for me, and I had to come thank him, so here. He dug through your bag, pulling out the bento that you had made for him. His eyes sparkled at the way he saw the note that was attached to the bento. You handed it to the boy, who took it very graciously. I like you too, Lev. The boys cheered at the boy getting his feelings returned, which made the both of you extremely red. Lev was speechless, not knowing how to respond from a confession from his crush, not expecting anything so direct. Thank you, first name. He thanked softly, setting the things aside and giving you a hug. You wrapped your arms around the boy, letting him snuggle his head into your neck. He cherished every moment from your first hug, the hug that started your relationship, the hug that changed both of your fates. You're welcome, Lev. Oh my god. Stop. Oh my god. See, I'm a Lev lover. I love Lev so much. He is so cute, so adorable. He's like Hinata, but tall and cocky because he's tall. It's so cute. Like, Lev, marry me, please. I know you're like super tall, but I don't care. I love you anyways. Like, I'm a Lev lover, guys. If you don't love Lev, Why? He's adorable. Like, come on. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you heard my phone going off, I'm sorry about that. I don't know if you did because I have like RTX voice on here. But if you heard that, sorry, because I didn't want it to go through, but my mom texted me when I was recording this, probably to go make dinner. Anyways, I'm getting really off topic. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. And also like the video because there's something for YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.